Hello, my name is Melissa Daniels, and this is Strabismus to Stereopsis. And today I am going to give you my update. I started my journey in 2018, and it has been a long road, right? I've been on this journey trying to fix my eyes, make them straight, make them work together for 6 years. And so every year in the fall time, because that's when I started, I like to do a little update. So at this point in my life, it has been 6 years since I started. 4 years since I had my strabismus surgery, 2 years since I graduated from vision therapy. So I'm going to kind of give you an update of what I'm doing currently as far as like vision therapy exercises go, how my alignment has been, how double vision is going, just kind of like some updates on all of that. I know a lot of people are curious about long-term effects, right? Like it's like, okay, maybe this helps short-term, what happens long-term? So before we jump into that, be sure to go over to learn.strabismussolutions.com to access some of the different resources that I offer. One of my favorites right now is the Strabismus support community, and I love this group. It is small but mighty. We meet over Zoom a couple times a month. I give different challenges, and we actually just get to talk about what it's like to have strabismus. A lot of the people in that group are currently in vision therapy, so sometimes we're brainstorming, overcoming different challenging exercises or different things that are struggles or stumbling blocks for people with strabismus, and it is so much fun. We would love to have you in that group. So that is all over at learn.strabismussolutions.com, as well as all the other things that we have. Okay, so I'm going to take this update and we're going to talk about kind of the post-surgery aspect and the post-vision therapy aspect because they're totally different. So the surgery that I got 4 years ago in 2020 was meant to align my eyes, and it did. It helped. It didn't get my eyes all the way there, but got them pretty close, and then we kind of went the rest of the way with vision therapy. So over time with, at first when I had my surgery, my eye was still turned in quite a bit. Over time with the vision therapy and just time, my eye came more straight. I will say that my upward eye turn that has been there since I believe my first surgeries early in life when I was like 9 months old, 7 years old, like in those notes, there's always a hypertropia noted, and it's not a huge amount, maybe like 3 or 4 diopters. Sometimes I feel like it's way bigger than that and more noticeable, but I will notice sometimes still when I'm really tired that I will just go whoop from looking in the distance, different things. I don't actually notice it as far as like the way the world looks. Sometimes I'll just like feel a headache or just feel like really tired. And I don't know if the headache and the tiredness are making my eye turn, or if the eye turn is making the headache and tiredness, or if it's just this tornado effect. But that doesn't bother me. I don't really notice it. I don't have other people notice it. I did have a patient one time notice and be like, why aren't your eyes both pointing the same direction? And I was like, dang it. So it does happen sometimes, but not near as frequently as before surgery. As far as like the redness and itchiness and sensitivity, my eyes are definitely still sensitive. If I get makeup in them or something like that, not even in them, but it's not like I'm like putting makeup in my eyeball, but like I definitely can't put mascara on my bottom lashes, and I don't do eyeliner, like those kinds of things, because I feel like anything too close to my eye just gets super sensitive and starts getting really itchy and watery. Just yesterday, I was just rubbing. It was driving me crazy. And I came home from work and I'd forgotten that my eye was bugging me. And my daughter says, Mom, you've got mascara all under your eye. I'm like, I wonder how long I was going around at work like that. But that's besides the point. It's totally fine. So that does happen. I just feel like my eyes are a little bit more sensitive. I was going to maybe shut the blinds, but I wanted you guys to see what happens when I have super bright light. The sun is like shining and beaming into this window, and you may notice that my right eye still closes more than my left eye. Again, that's something that has always been there, but definitely maybe even a little more pronounced since surgery. Again, that hasn't changed much over the last 4 years. I did have some double vision after surgery. I don't have to worry about that at all anymore. I guess there were a couple days where I was just super stressed and tired, and I did have some double vision. I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot how awful this is. But for the most part, I don't have to deal with that at all anymore. And like, yeah, most of the things like I'm not really noticing. I am excited because it's been 4 years. So at this point, a lot of times with people with strabismus, they maybe are having good alignment and the alignment is starting to get worse. And maybe the results from the surgery aren't lasting. But I feel like mine just keeps getting, my alignment keeps getting better. Every time I have an appointment with my optometrist and he's checking measurements, it's either the measurements, he measures a whole bunch of different things. They're either staying steady or getting better. And so to me, I'm just delighted because that was always one of my big fears with strabismus surgery was, is this going to last? Or is it just going to, I'm going to get the surgery. It's going to be good for a little while and then go back to how it was. So I'm delighted with the surgery part. Okay, now on to the vision therapy part of my journey. So I first found vision therapy in 2018. I tried to do vision therapy on my own and after like doing all the evaluations at the vision therapy office, finding how much it costs, and I'm like, I'm just doing this on my own. Tried that for about 6 months until I started getting like a lot of double vision and realized it wasn't working. So like May of 2019, I started doing vision therapy in office, like weekly appointments, that style, and did it off and on. Had the surgery and then did more vision therapy off and on. Again, like I would take breaks during the summer. If it was like a busy time with my kids, then I might go like every other week. So it was not like super steady, like a typical vision therapy patient. I'm now realize that more and more now that I work at a vision therapy office, I'm like, oh wow, I was very unusual and not scheduled. I bet that made them insane, but that's just how it was. And 2 years ago, I just was done. I'd made so much progress and I just decided it was time to graduate. And I had not achieved perfect vision by any means, but I was stable. I wasn't getting a lot of double vision anymore. Like I kind of had learned how to control that. My eye turn was fine. I was getting some great stereo in real life. Driving was not like functionally, I was doing great. And so I just decided like, I want to celebrate how far I've come. And so I graduated from vision therapy and I continued working and would like work on different exercises here and there. But honestly, like in the last year, I haven't done a ton of like home activities, like home exercises, and I've stayed pretty stable. Now I do work at a vision therapy office, like 1 or 2 days a week, depending on time of year. And sometimes I will like try out, just make sure it's working okay for my patients, like the HoloLens or, something like that. Or if my patient's doing it, I'll throw on a pair of glasses at the same time and do it with them. And so I do get some vision therapy in that way, but I don't do it all the time because I don't want to like, I'm trying to focus on the patient. But sometimes it's like, it doesn't really make a difference whether I'm doing it with them or not. They can still have the same experience. Look at me try to justify it. Everyone does it. Okay. So I totally will do that like when I'm in the office. So there's like some vision therapy happening there. I also am a beta tester for a couple of different virtual reality apps that are vision therapy, Equalize and Optics Trainer. And so I'll totally play on those apps and, try the new games. And so in that way, I am doing some eye exercises in that way. I buy new toys and then I'll try them, but I'm not doing anything consistently. I'm not doing vision therapy exercises for 30 minutes every day. I don't have like a special like regimen. If I feel like something's not going as well, maybe I'll like let go of that. So in that way, I feel like I don't really have to worry about my vision anymore. I feel like it's very stable. I really don't get double vision. Maybe like 1 day a month I'll experience it or like every other month. It's very rare and it's always packaged up with like a lot of stress, lack of sleep, over exercising, not over, but like really high exertion, eating crappy. Like you put all those things together and for sure I'm going to like, my vision stuff might come back, but it always goes away quickly. Like I can get back to where I was so quickly. So that has been such a pleasant surprise because again, I was so worried that I was going to have to be doing vision therapy 5 days a week for 30 to 40 minutes for the rest of my life. That's kind of what I expected. And maybe if I wanted to get to perfect stereopsis, like, 10 out of 10 vision, maybe that's what it would require. But where I'm at now, like functionally, like my life is so much different and I feel so comfortable driving and doing all these different things. I'm okay where I'm at. So when I get a minute, like, okay, I want to set a new goal. I'm going to try to achieve this. I totally work on those things, but I don't have to. It's not required. I'm not going to like have these, double vision and horrible things happen if I don't do vision therapy all the time. So that has been so fantastic. The results are sticking. My eyes aren't perfect, but I am so happy with how they are. One thing I have been working on is some of the body movements. As a vision therapist, we work with lots of patients on primitive reflexes, and I kind of thought that stuff was dumb when I was in vision therapy and kind of ignored it. And I would do it, but not really like with my heart. I would just be like, okay, go through the motions, get the thing right so they can pass it off. But I wasn't like really like thinking about like trying to do it correctly. I don't know if that makes sense. And so I'm kind of going back and readdressing some of those and starting with the fear paralysis reflex. And that's kind of like the fight or flight reflex. And mine is it's so strong. One of the ways that you test for it with a new patient or a new person is you have them, it's kind of like a trust fall. Okay. So you stand in front of a person like this, and then you're going to lean back and they're like holding you up. And then all of a sudden they let you go and you like fall kind of fast, but not like far. You just fall like 1 inch and see how you react. And they were practicing on me at the office. And as soon as I went back that like little tiny bit, I went, whew, and I like threw my arms out and my eyes went really big. Like every sign that shows that it's not my fear paralysis reflex isn't integrated. It was like, check, 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 check. And I was like, well, that's dumb. Everyone does that. And so we had like a family dinner, and I like tested like my nieces and nephews and my siblings. And there was a couple of us that did this, but most of the adults just kind of like fell back and they're like, what's the big deal? And like their arms stayed down. They were calm. And that was when I realized like, oh, okay, this is still going on. Like, and how is this preventing me from like reaching my full potential? I struggle with anxiety. And so I'm like, this is all together. So I have been working on that with like different meditation and yoga and some different body exercises that we do. And so that is something I still haven't been super consistent, but that's something that I have been working on. And so it's not necessarily directly, I think it is linked to my vision, but it's not like an eye exercise per se. It's more of like a mind exercise, like I'm okay, I am safe. So that's kind of what I've been working on. I'm trying to figure out what integrating the fear paralysis reflex looks like for an adult with strabismus who's kind of been living in that fight or flight mode, for 38 years. And how do we overcome that? So when I figure it out, you can guarantee I will share that information with you guys, but I haven't figured it out yet, probably because I haven't been consistent, but I'm working on it. So I will keep you posted on what I learned there. Overall, I will just say that I have zero regrets about what has happened in the last 6 years of my life. I feel like this was like divine intervention in my life. Like I think of that moment when I decided to start looking for solutions, and I think about that person. I remember I was like in the car on the phone calling different offices and thinking like I just could have had no idea like how much my life could be changed. And there's things that I did that were risky. Vision therapy is expensive and takes a long time, and surgery comes with risk. Like there were so many things that I was just like taking a leap in the dark, and it has made all the difference. So if you are still watching this video and you are wondering, do I get started? What should I be doing? What do I do first? You can go over to my website, and there's actually a quiz you can take, and it's free. It doesn't cost anything. It's really easy, and you just answer these questions, and it kind of helps you figure out where a good place for you to start is. And at the end of that quiz, it'll take you to a page where it'll kind of have different resources. Like, okay, this is where you can find a vision therapy office, or here's how you can find a good surgeon, or maybe schedule a Zoom call, or join this confidence course, right? There's all these different aspects of having strabismus. So I'm here to help through the journey. I'd love to help you. I know that this can change your life, and that's why I'm so passionate about it, because it's definitely changed mine. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and we'll have another update for you next year. And I'll keep with the weekly videos. So we'll be talking about other things, vision therapy and surgery related every Friday. A new video will be coming out. So we'll see you then.